Hi, this is Mike Overdorf, President of Sycamore, focusing on our Sycamore Client Manager product. Now, Client Manager comes with a lot of functionality, probably too much to cover in one presentation, so I decided to focus on a few key areas that I think are of most importance. First, we'll be showing you how the Client Manager can provide you with a 360-degree view of your clients. We'll also be discussing how we can bring in all the Albridge data to automatically create your database and automatically maintain it on a nightly basis. We'll be talking briefly about some of the auto workflow notifications functionality within Client Manager, as well as how they can work with the ad hoc reporting and dashboards. And then we'll be finishing up showing you how you can set your clients up, how they can access the system to see their information. Now, before we get into the presentation, I'd like to point out that this is all quote-unquote on the cloud, meaning it's 100% internet-based, and the advantages there are you no longer have to worry about your data, storing it, backing it up. That is all done within a secure data center that's FINRA approved, and because it's internet-based, you can work anywhere, anytime, as long as you have an internet connection. And the last point I'd like to make is Client Manager has very strong third-party integration. Now, I've already mentioned that we integrate with Albridge, but it also comes out of the box completely integrated with Microsoft Office, including Microsoft Outlook, which includes the calendaring, the tasks, the contacts, emails, complete bidirectional synchronization there. But it also comes fully integrated with Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and Microsoft PowerPoint. So, let's get into the demonstration. Salesforce does a great job in tracking all your clients' information. Let's go to a sample client here, Maureen Glavy, to take a look at what information we can track. First, we track all the basic demographic type information for Maureen: name, address, phone number, last time we spoke with her, any mailing list that we want to put her on. Does she want to get a birthday card, for example? When is it going to go out? Basic information. We also track a full balance sheet, bank accounts, financial accounts, insurance, other investments, etc. Employment information, income information. Now, going back to this net worth information, these are all summary items that roll up from detail. So let's go back up and show you a little bit about that. At the very top, you can see these links. For example, here is detail under her bank accounts, and we can go into each one and get detail. But let's go into the financial accounts, talk a little bit more about that. And this is where we get information directly from data aggregators like Albridge. First, let's go into the financial account and show you the detail we track there. Now, most of this is auto-populated on a nightly basis. Either it's created if it's new or it's maintained nightly. It automatically creates the advisor if he doesn't exist and sets them up and attaches it to the client in the account. But here it says it brings in the account number, the account type, who the client is, obviously the ownership type, a tax status, and the current account value. Now, the current account value is also a roll-up from the holdings for that account. So let's scroll down to the holdings section, and you can see there's just one holding for this financial account. It's a Buffalo Small Cap Fund. Let me go into it, and you can see this information that we track for the holdings. And again, this is all populated from Albridge on a nightly basis. They populate the number of shares and the last price to bring in the total value. We also added a nice cool feature here where you can do some research. Wherever you see the ticker symbol underlined, for example, this is Morningstar. This will launch to the Morningstar page for this particular asset, where you can get the ratings and graphs, price history, etc. Let me click out of here. Now, we also bring in from Albridge the transactions for each holding. And let me scroll down a little further so you can see that. And here's the transactions for this holding. So the transactions roll up to the holdings, which roll up to the financial accounts, which roll up to the client and help create that balance sheet I showed you at the beginning. So I'm going to click into the transaction. And this is the information we check we create at the transaction level. We also have some if you desire, we can set it up that you can track and make sure that the rep is properly licensed to sell this particular asset. Okay, so let me go back to the client screen. It's simply everything's hyperlinked. Just click back to Maureen Glavy. and show you some of the other roll-ups that we track. Not only bank accounts and financial accounts with their respective holdings and transactions, but we also have a full check blotter. So if Maureen gave us a check to buy some mutual funds, for instance, it's tracked here and can be attached to that specific transaction. We track all insurance, as well as net cash value, any real estate, any other off-book type investments we can track here, any debt like credit cards, etc. And again, and I'll go into this a little bit later, this is a CRM system, so it has full activity tracking, tasking, calendaring, etc. Okay, now that we've shown you the information we track at the client level, well, the question comes up, well, what if you want to see this information householded or grouped together as a family? Well, Client Manager handles that very well. In Client Manager, we call householding relationship groups. And you can see here that Maureen is already part of a relationship group or a household. She is the child of one of these households. So let's go into relationship groups and see what it looks like. Here we've created a relationship group called the Glavy family. And we can see that Maureen is the secondary, like we just showed you, and her mother, Kathy Glavy, is the primary. Let me scroll down a little bit further so you can see that in better detail. Here, primary, Kathy, Maureen, secondary, and these are all hyperlinks, so I could just click on Maureen's name or Kathy's name and go into her individual accounts. But you don't really need to, because what we've done here, as I scroll down, we've combined all the accounts. For instance, bank accounts. Here's Maureen's 2 bank accounts, and here's Kathy's 3 bank accounts. Likewise, for financial accounts, the holdings that make up those accounts, the transactions that make up those holdings, and any other type of assets like insurance, real estate, debt, other investments. And not only that, we've also combined any activities. If I click here, you can see that there are 3 activities, one belonging to Maureen, the others belonging to her mother. Any activity history, which are finished or closed out activities, and you can see 2 are to Kathy's and 1's to Maureen. So the relationship groups does a really nice job of householding families together so you can get a combined look at their complete picture. Alright, the next thing I'd like to talk to you about are the automated workflows and notification functionality within Client Manager. Basically, there are 2 types. It could be argued there's a couple more, but you will basically be using 2 types of automated workflows. The first is event-based, and for an example, that would be one of your client associates goes in and creates a new account. Well, when that happens, automatically a notification is sent to the compliance manager to go in and look at the new account and to approve it. The second type is time-based, and that, for example, would be, and this is an example we put together here. I think Kathy has one, is exactly the bank maturity notification. Basically, this workflow we set up to go in every day and see when particular CDs are maturing. And if they're maturing within the next 30 days, an automated task is created for the advisor, an email is sent to the advisor if desired. And let me go in and give you what the task looks like. It's pretty simple. Just gives the advisor a notification saying, hey, you need to give Kathy a call and see what she wants to do with the money when this matures. There's a couple other ways we can notify the advisor as well. We can build a report, and you can see we've built a report here called Maturing CDs. Click on it. And this shows all the CDs that are either have already matured past due or will be maturing within the next 30 days. And you can see here we have 2 clients, Deborah Brown and Kathy Glavy, with the amounts that will be maturing. And lastly, we can also create a dashboard. Now, the dashboard functionality is really cool in Client Manager. Let me click on the dashboard here. And you can create as many dashboards as you want. They're very, very easy to build. Here are just some that we built for the financial advisor. And you'd find the advisor pretty much lives on this because he can come in every day and get a snapshot of exactly what the information he needs to track. We see here we created this dashboard down at the bottom of maturing CDs. And again, here's the same information, Deborah Brown and Kathy Glavy. Let's click on it. And that brings up the report that we just showed you. So again, the automated workflows, they're very easy to create. You can pretty much, if you're creative, you can build one for just about anything, and as well as you can support it with reporting and the dashboards. All right, now I'd like to talk about the client portal type functionality available within Client Manager. Just like it sounds, this is where you give your clients the ability to log in and take a look at their data. As you can see, I've already set up Maureen Glavy to get access. Basically, the process is turn this person on as a client portal user, and the system will automatically kick out a username and password and email it to Maureen, which is what happened. And I've gone in and logged in. Now you notice the look and feel is different. There's different colors and different schema, and you could put a different logo up here if you'd like. But most importantly, you control right down to the field level what access Maureen can, what fields she can view, what tables she can view, what sections she can view. I've gone through and just created a very simple client portal where I brought over her basic the address and contact information, the balance sheet information, her employment information, and I also brought over all the detail that makes up her net worth. The bank accounts, the financial accounts, the holdings, the transactions, etc. Now, here's an important distinction. First, you can drill down into the detail. Let's take the financial accounts, for example. I can click on the financial account here, and it brings up all the detail for that financial account, including the holdings. So let me click on the holding for this financial account, the Buffalo Small Cap Fund, and it brings over all the information for the holdings as well as any transactions. And I can continue to drill down even further to the transaction level. I also brought over the analysis tools where you can click on this link and bring up the Morningstar page for the Buffalo Small Cap. Alright, but now you notice none of these screens have edit buttons, and that's because these accounts are managed by you. But what if you wanted your client to maintain all their quote-unquote off-book type information? So let's go back to Maureen and say wouldn't it be nice if she could go in and maintain her bank balances? Well, we've given her that ability. So she can go down and click on her checking account or her savings account. Or let's do savings. And actually go in and click edit. We've turned the edit button on here. And say her savings is now not 6,700 but 16,000. And click save. Now this is all time and date stamped, so you know that she actually edited and updated the information what time and date. Last modified by Maureen Glavy on 11/4/2010. So that's the real advantage of the client portal. Not only do you give your clients access to their data real time with the exact same data you're seeing, but you give them the ability to update certain pieces of information. This concludes the presentation of the Sycamore Client Manager. Again, we just covered some of the key features and functionality. So if you have any questions or would like to learn more, please feel free to contact us anytime. Thank you and have a great day.